Hey, what's up, my little TisaTells? How is everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all know I had to make myself presentable ever since I started doing voiceovers. It's flipping a coin to see whether I have makeup on my face. Y'all, we got to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. What's up to Beverly Hills? This is a recap for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Tisa, Neighborhood Gossip. So the way I do it is, and for everybody returning, hi, I'm just going to cycle through what happened very quick in the episode, and then we're going to go in and do a deep dive and have callers come in. So let's get into this. Y'all, I ranked this episode. This episode was so exhausting. It was just exhausting on every single level. And let me tell y'all something. We've been watching Housewives too long to act like everybody's not there on a cash trip. I am sick of everybody being like, oh, well, Marlo's trying to decide whether she's going to go. And Marlo being like, you can't come. And Kenya's looking at her like, girl, we've been watching Housewives for how many years? If you're an OG, you've been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta for what? What is it, 14 years? Why are they acting like the producers don't make everybody come on the cash trip? Why are they acting like Kenya really got the option not to come? Why are they not acting like you guys are forced to be in scenes? So the fact that Sanya, Marlo, and who else? Sanya, Marlo, and Sheree are acting like it's not mandatory is crazy to me. Also, what is this alliance of idiots that Sanya, Marlo, and Sheree actually have? Now, hear me out, right? I actually like Sheree as a cast member. I thought I liked Marlo, but Marlo's coming off as a dark cloud. We're about to get into like the brief recap and then deeper. Marlo's coming off a dark cloud. Sanya just got there. Why are y'all all aligning as one? Like you guys name as Voltron, as if any of y'all going to be here a second season. None of you guys don't have any OG. You don't have any island. How are you guys literally all banding together and acting like you guys are a super group where all y'all can be gone next season? Sonya's still replaceable. Marlo, that peach could slip away. And Sheree, I love Sheree on the show, but the producers give and take away her peach whenever they feel like it. I just don't understand this weird alliance they're making. Like, baby, what is you doing? What? And Sanya, what is Sanya's beef with Kenya? Or does she just think going against Kenya is the easiest way to be a storyline, but she thinks she's being neutral, but she comes across really weird. All right, let's get into this. Now, listen, I don't think the worst thing they ever did was give Marlo a peach. I think the worst thing they ever did was make Drew a full-time housewife before they made Fallon or LaToya a full-time housewife. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I think Bravo's biggest sin was. I think that Marlo is literally going against Kenya because she's stuck in like maybe Nene gave her advice, maybe Portia gave her advice, but you know how like what was Nene and Portia's downfall? People saw an ugly side of the personalities. Nene's personality, and I don't know if this is her real personality, but from what we saw, came out. Portia's and they became dark clouds. Every time there was having fun, every time there was something happen, they would come with their dark clouds, like they were Charlie Brown. And we were like, oh my God, can this get lighthearted? Marlo seems to be going in the same vein of every time she comes around, it seems like it's just a rainy, dark cloud. Like, ugh, I don't like this energy. Please go away. Anyway, sorry guys. I'm like literally doing all this stuff. Okay, hold on, right? Let's see. Hey, Adele, thank you for subscribing. Greetings from Decatur. Okay, let's get into the episode. But before I go, Adelie, since you are from Decatur, I want to hear your opinion. I like the way that man at Stone Mountain was looking at those ladies. He acted like a bunch of cockroaches came in. He was just like, the blacks are here. I don't care what y'all say. I got old Stone Mountain, Georgia. I don't know, Triple K vibes. I didn't like the way that mining thing, I would have left. They all came in there and was like, hi. He was just like, ugh, they didn't tell me darkies were in this show. I thought they was going to bring the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's a mining thing. Mom was like, so tell us. And he's like, you put your hands in dirt and you squish them around. And I was just like, you giving like some Archie Bunker tea. And I withheld judgment. But when Kenya bumped into a sign and the sign fell down and she was like, and it was like a little rickety rick-rack hillbilly sign, right? I think hillbilly is derogatory. It was lower working class mountain people's like thing. And it fell to the ground. And Kenya's like, sorry, sir, you're whatever. And he was just like, he didn't even want to touch it. I don't know. He was giving me Archie Bunker, Triple K. I would have left. As hostile as he was, even when they started arguing, he was like, what y'all got doing? Something about his energy was so off to me. I don't know. I don't know. It was giving me Stone Mountain. It was giving me Blue Mountain. It was giving me in the heat of the night, if you know what I'm saying, right? Exactly. Kenya did it because... And that's, I'm trying to beat the algorithm. I don't want to get demonetized, but yeah, I picked up on the two. I honestly would have left when I was younger. No, even when I was younger, because my mom and them would be like, come on, let's go. I'm not listen, y'all can do what you want. I'm not giving my money to someone that makes me feel less than. I'm not even giving airtime. Like, we're doing you a gift by being in your little old rickety gym mining Stone Mountain, giving us a pile of dirt, talking about, see if you can find a gym in there. And Marlo, why did you even pick that activity? But even if she did, I'm not blaming Marlo, because even I was thrown off by that guy's energy. If y'all don't know, there was a scene, I'm going to get to it, where they went to go gym mining. It was a group activity, and the guy's energy was super hostile, super mean, super judgmental. Every time the camera patted, even when they were leaving, he was like, they were like, okay, well, goodbye. And he was sitting there sneering at them in disgust, like, bye. I was just like, nope. Okay, so listen. Well, here we go. Let's get into the brief recap. I know I keep saying that, but let's get into the brief recap. And then after we're done with the brief recap, I'm going to drop the call link so we can actually get deep into this mess. Okay, so they do with the trip. Marlo starts with BS saying she don't want Kenya to come, and she's like, if Kenya wants to come, she's gonna have to apologize to me and all this other mess. Marlo is trying to have a power trip when it's a mandatory cash trip, right? Kenya shows up. She's like, are you spending the night? Marlo is like, are you spending the night? Kenya was like, nah, I got a cabin down the street. Brooklyn's nanny don't come. Now here's the thing, right? I love Kenya, but we know Kenya did it to get under Marlo's nose. But at the same time, Marlo, when she gets mad, she doesn't have any limit. She will say she will do, and I 100% believe that she will embarrass poor little Kenya while Brooklyn's there and turn it into a bigger thing, right? So anyway, Kenya sleeps in her own cabin, but the next morning she comes and she's a ball of sunshine. She turns up and, she's laughing, she's joking, she's giggly Kenya. We love this side of Kenya. Marlo's like, yeah, Kenya, when you're done with that, come holler at me. Now, I know what y'all saying. Kenya should have gone and talked to Marlo. But first of all, it's a cash trip. Second of all, the producers made her come. Because please believe Kenya, if she didn't have to get her pay doc and it was not in her contract, she wouldn't have came on Marlo's little rusty trip to a cabin up in that Stone Mountain or wherever, the island of Dr. Magoo. Who gives a damn? It's not like she's turning down a trip to the French Riviera or Portugal or someplace beautiful and exotic like Shanghai or Tokyo or Singapore. No, you literally turning somebody down to a Stone Mountain. I'd have been like, I'm not going either. I don't like bugs. I don't feel like going to the mountain. Ain't nothing to do. Sorry. Anyway, Marlo's like, come holler at me. And Kenya's like, I can understand Kenya too, because when you come at me on some BS, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll be up there. Marlo already let Kenya know that it was going to be some BS. All right? So then Sanya comes to talk to Kenya. And here's the thing. Drew gets on my bad nerves. On my nerves, bad, real bad. Shout out to Young Miami, right? She gets on my nerves. The thing with the doggy treats, I'll tell you about in a second. If you haven't seen the episode, got on my nerves. But, I don't think Drew was wrong about Sanya. Sanya sits down. Every episode, she's becoming more right? So Sanya comes up and talks to Kenya. Kenya, opens up about so Sanya's like, you don't understand. Marlo's under a lot of stress because she's a new mom. And I looked and I said, okay, Sanya, do you believe that? Because she was like, being a mom was just thrust upon her. And I was like, Sanya, if you believe this, then you're a sick person, because that is your family, that is your blood. And yeah, I might be used to being a young girl out in the street. And Marlo's not even young. She's 47, 43, something like that. I might be used to being a girl out in the street, doing my thing, having fun, being flued out by men that you can't show on TV and all that stuff. But I will say this, that's your family. And you took the responsibility on. So there's some responsibility that when you take on, you don't get to be like, oh, well, I just need a day off. So Sanya, if you believe that, then that makes me side-eye you as a mom. Like, do you have a strong maternal bond? And by maternal bond, men can be understood. Do you have a strong parental bond? Do you know what it is to actually be a parent and like what you undertake? But you have a son, so I believe you do. So the fact that you're literally sitting here and trying to spin what Marlo is doing to her nephews, and if it's not a storyline, as something normal, and we need to have sympathy for Marlo, the grown woman that put out her boys whose mother is in jail, her nephews. Sanya, I was like, Sanya, you real corny for that. But then she got even cornier. So Kenya starts to open up and she's just like, ada, this, that, and the third, it really triggered me because, I was in the same situation and I ran away. And when that happened, I was like, what? Tell me more. You know me. Every time I hear some gossip, I'm like, I'm listening. Continue. Right? So she talks about how her mother's family said, yeah, you can live with us. And then all the stuff happened. And they were like, her grandmother was like, you got to leave and put Kenya out. And they were driving Kenya back home. And Kenya said she opened that door and did a drop and roll. And I believe it because when Aquariuses are young, they are wild. Like Aquarius is like, if you ever had a young Aquarius friend, they are just wild. I believe that she did that. She said she ran away and she was gone for a good time. She went to go live with like an ex-boyfriend, which I look at that and I'm like, even that story alone is traumatic because your family, you have issues with your mom. Your mom's family rejects you on top of that, sends you back home, and then you have to go live with an ex-boyfriend. And anyone that's ever had to live or be with an ex-boyfriend when they're young and use them for survival, that usually doesn't end up well. Women usually have horror stories about how bad the man treated them because they had no choice but to be there. Okay, fine, right? So Sanya's sitting there listening, and the whole thing she does is like so then she's just like, but why don't you just go talk to Marlo? And Kenya's like, man, I'm not, maybe later, right? Now, mind you, in Kenya's defense, it's a cash trip. Also in Kenya's defense, she's not being disrespectful to Marlo in her face. Third of all, Kenya just really told an emotional story, literally just said that like she doesn't respect Marlo because of the way she treated her nephews, because she'll never respect anybody that treats a child like that. And it adds on to the trauma. And I believed Kenya in that moment. And at the end of the day, she just finished reliving a painful memory. So Kenya's not trying to hear, go talk to Marlo. She's like, yeah, maybe later. Because I understand that the emotions are raw. You're back in a bad mood. You're like, I'm not engaging in Marlo while my emotions are so raw. So anyway, Sanya's like, but she got you a present. And Kenya's like, okay, like what? Is she giving out Cartier tank watches? Like, what's the present I need to get, right? So anyway, Sanya then goes back and runs to Marlo. Again, I know Sanya was trying to be a bone collector. I know it's a show. I know Sanya is trying to earn her place. Fine, Sanya. She goes and she's like, yo, she was sitting there talking about your nephews. Marlo, what? What? She better keep Michael. Let me tell y'all something. Marlo, you've been a friend of the show for how many years? You know how it is, right? When you come on these reality TV shows, you offer your life to the public. You become not a person, but an archetype. If you didn't want anybody talking about your nephews or keeping your nephews' names out of your mouth, why did you hold a camera to all the dirty clothes that your nephews had? Why did you tell the whole world your nephews are dirty and you put them out because you can't take it? Why did you make your nephews a storyline if you were so sensitive to anybody keeping your nephew's name in your mouth, including your enemies? I'm being serious. Marlo is not new to this, but she is true to this. Marlo knows the way the game goes. And it would be refreshing for the Real Housewives. And I'm not just talking about the Atlanta Housewives. It would be refreshing for all the housewives to finally break down that fourth wall just a little. Not enough to make it like, like The Office where Jim Halper is like looking into the camera. But at this point, we all know that the cash trips are paid for by producers. We all know that everybody has to show up. We all know all this stuff. We all know that when you say something on, it's going to be broadcast. You guys can stop. Bravo, you can stop. Bravo, you don't have to act like this is actually reality. You can let a little bit of the fourth wall in. And I actually think that will make the Housewives like a lot more enjoyable. Like, you know, the way this goes. Because right now, this is what gives stale storylines. And it was a whole show dedicated to Marlo trying to make it seem like Kenya can't come when we all know that's not your call, Marlo. That's producer's call. You know it. I know it. Kenya knows it. Move on, right? But then it also made me think, and I'm not even joking, it also made me think, do the producers hate Marlo? Because they keep giving her a real bad edit. Literally. Listen. And listen, it was just a really bad edit. Maybe it was a bad edit on what Sanya was saying too, because that's another thing for what the producers, but the producers, I don't know, the editing is just funny. These are Potomac producers. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, where are we? Okay. So anyway, Marlo's like, how she find out? Sheree was like, oh, I told her. Marlo looks at Sheree, but then I was like, wait a second. If you guys said, why are you so mad at Kenya when Sheree's the one that told her? Shouldn't you be talking to your new friend? But again, they have the trifecta of it. They had the first. What? How do you make an alliance where everybody in that alliance can be gone tomorrow and the viewers won't even know the difference? At least bring an OG in. At least bring an OG in there. But how is it Sheree, Marlo, and Sanya, and all y'all can be gone tomorrow? I mean, I will miss Sheree, and I'll be honest, I will miss Marlo. I do wish Marlo would calm down. Like, ooh, Marlo needs to come out. Anyway, here's the thing. Candy was actually, well, we'll get to that, right? So then Marlo says, okay, we're going to please our Father in heaven. I want to pray for Kenya's soul. And I was like, okay, I remember thinking, Tisa, you know, I'm not a very religious person, but from what I do know, isn't it sacrilegious to pray over God in a, or maybe she was just being funny, but I was like, I don't know. I think that's sacrilegious. But anyway, then she makes this quote like, and please pray for that 60-year-old woman's soul. And I saw Sheree jump, and I literally had to pick up my phone and Google 60-year-old woman, because I was like, I know Kenya's somewhere in her 50s. Kenya is, I believe, 51. Sheree, I believe, or 51 or 52. Sheree is either 52 or 53. So that's why Sheree jumped. Like, you sitting there calling Kenya an old woman. Sheree's older than Kenya. But secondly, Marlo is like 40, what is it, 46? Marlo is right behind Kenya. Marlo, you act like you're in your 20s, mama. You act like you're early 30s. You are literally right behind Kenya. Y'all are in the same generation. What you talking about pray for that 60-year-old thing? And here's another thing I want to say. I don't understand why people are so ageist like that. I'm being serious, right? Especially when it comes to other women, because women will try to put other women down, be like, oh my God, you old, you this, you that. Do you not think you're getting old? Do you not get, like, what is your game plan? Like, are you planning on like passing away at 30 years old? Are you planning on passing away when you are what, 49, Marlo? Do you not think that you're not going to hit? I don't understand like why age is such a drag. And I can understand why men do it because they're being misogynistic, but between women, I don't understand why age is such a drag, but whatever. You know, it's like in the previews, if you guys didn't see the episode, Drew says like, oh, you're old. And Sheree said, baby, I'm old and cold. You better hope you look like me when you get to my age. Quiet as it kept. Drew's a beautiful girl, but like her body, she's what, 30? Drew's the youngest. Drew's 37. Baby, your body don't look like Sheree's body now. I'm just saying. If Sheree wants to pull rank, baby. Anyway, let's get into this. So what else happened? So I will say, for whatever reason, Candy seems like annoyed at Kenya, right? But then I thought about it. Candy was kind of defending Marlo because, you know, Marlo used to date Candy's nephew and Marlo knows Candy. They used to be tight before this season. And I remember thinking, I wonder if Candy regrets defending Marlo and explaining Marlo's position to Kenya. I'm being dead serious. I literally was like, I wonder if she regrets being like, well, Kenya, you're not being reasonable to Marlo. You know, Candy was being reasonable like she always is. And Marlo later on in the season, from what everybody says, ended up stabbing Candy in the back. So I wonder if Candy looked back and was like, I should have just kept my mouth shut on that Stone Mountain trip and let Kenya drag you. Anyway, right? One thing that did happen, sweet, which I wish the producers would show more of. So the next scene is them all sitting around in the kitchen. And so Kenya says to Sheree, Sheree, I set up a phone call for you. And Sheree's like, And she was like, I set up a phone call with you with one of my friends to help you get She by Sheree off the ground, right? And I was like, that's actually really sweet of Kenya. And I know they might have their differences, but in my mind, Kenya obviously looks at Housewives like this is a show. We show up and then we go home. So whatever beef she has with Sheree, she doesn't dislike Sheree as a person. It's all for TV, for our entertainment, which I appreciate. But I appreciate that she feels close enough to Sheree to set up a phone call with her with someone that can further her She by Sheree brand. Then Candy jumps in the conversation and was like, listen, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Somebody actually gave me a lecture when I first started that I'm trying to start $1 billion business and I'm running it like it's like a hole in the wall, right? And she actually gave Sheree really good advice where she said, listen, why don't you just start? You have name recognition. And Candy was right. People pay for brand recognition. Sheree's brand is known universally. Everybody in the Housewives franchise that ever watched one show of Housewives knows She by Sheree. Sheree could literally use that brand impact to sell something. And Candy said, listen, if you don't got the money now, why don't you just do a small little line? Y'all know what I said. You better order in bulk from Alibaba and like iron on your She by Sheree label. And then when you get money from that, use that to launch something bigger. Sheree's sitting there like, oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet. Candy pants, right? Because Sheree's little embezzlement scheme has to look like she's trying to start a business. I was sitting there like, Candy, Kenya, great job. You guys gave her good advice. But the way Sheree was like, ooh, really? I'm definitely going to do that. I literally was like, girl, this is going in one ear and out the other. Sheree is just like, okay, so anyway, off to the next scam. She's getting all this advice. And Sheree's like, off to the next scam. I wonder what we can scam this time. Even though I will say, if you guys have not seen the tour of Sheree's house, I see what Candy and Kenya and everybody is. Sheree's house is mwah. Chef's kiss. Sheree is messy. Sheree is this. Sheree has no discernment, but Sheree always will have a soft spot in my heart. Her house is fabulous. Her house is fabulous. The way it's decorated, the ceilings, you better go, Sheree. It took 10 years to get built, but baby, it was worth it. But I see what Candy's saying. That house is too fabulous. Sheree, where do you get the money for this? I'm looking at $40,000 chandeliers. Where the club is, because if you guys don't know, I actually have a thing for interior design and I have a thing for interior design. Listen, it's just my little, like, whatever. But my whole thing is, I'm looking at a $40,000 chandelier. I'm literally where her club is at. Those are custom built banquet seats in her club that she has in her house. I know those. So I was like, those custom built banquet seats are already somewhere between 30 and 78,000. I know. I was literally going through price and like, I see what Candy's talking about. Your house is so fabulous. I'm actually curious. Where did you get the money to build this? Because this wasn't no Simon Gabodi and Portia keep the court furniture rentals like in your thing. This wasn't none of that mess. Oh, no, baby. You spent. Listen. When I walk through Sheree's house in my mind, I can see Sheree looking at everyone and be like, this is what success looks like. This is what wealth looks like. This is what money looks right. And I said, you know what, Sheree? That is what it looks like. But where you get the money for it? Seriously, where did you get money? You crying and talking about, I'm like the victims that Tyrone scammed. Girl, was you scamming too? I don't know. You know what it is? So there are rumors that Sheree is creeping around with Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I remember thinking, Martell, because you know, ever since Melody left him high and dry, he looked like he'd been struggling with money. And I said, Martell probably took one little gander through She by Sheree and was like, she got money. And he locked it on her. You know, Martell get that gigolo vibe off, right? You know he does. See, because that's the thing. Martell, you look at Ariane and you look at Melody. Martell, like very, very small women, almost to the point of frailty. He likes small women. And you with thick thighs, Sheree, don't get me wrong, Sheree's body is beautiful, right? But Martell, Martell don't believe that thick thighs save lives. Martell believes in rubbing two pieces of wood together and making two twigs together and making some fire, right? So I was like, yeah, he walked through that house and was like, yo, she got money. She got money. But Sheree, where did you get the money from? Honestly. Anyway, so Sheree's sitting there after they give her all that advice, and she's like, oh wow, excellent advice. So I should so then with Kenya was like, Sheree, you got the meetings coming, you got notes? And she's like, oh, yeah, notes, trying to look for a pen and piece of paper. I said, that's Sheree's own downfall. Sheree will always, always, always. Oh, Sheree. Oh, Sheree. Anyway, it's like we could have been somebody, but she loves the scam. She's addicted to that life. Anyway, then we go out because they're supposed to go mining. Little did they know that they were arguing. Look, you know what? Here's the funny thing. I believe everything that happens for a reason. So they go out to get into the sprinters to take them to the gym mining, right? Or as I like to call it, Racesville. And I said, you know what? Kenya and Marlo argued for about 2 hours on the driveway. It just wouldn't stop. But I said, you know what? Sometimes you have to look at what the universe is trying to tell you. I believe that the universe literally snapped its fingers and made Kenya and Marlo get in an argument they could not let go because the universe was trying to tell them to skip races, gym mining. That's what was going on. They were trying to keep them out of Triple K territory. But, as usual, Bravo prevailed. Anyway, they're arguing for 2 hours. Oh, wait, sorry. So anyway, they're arguing for like 2 hours, I believe, right? 2 hours just going at it, doing all this stuff, arguing. And the thing is with Marlo, I don't know if she realizes it because I'm like that. When I argue with people, you can sense my anger and you can sense my rage. I know what you guys are saying. Tisa, you're such a lovable ray of sunshine. Y'all better be saying that. But no, honestly, I'm the type of person that when I do argue with someone, you can sense my anger and you can sense my rage. So I understand why if I'm fussing at someone, I think I'm just talking to them, but nobody wants to walk in front of me because the energy I'm giving off is like I'm 10 seconds away from grabbing someone. Now, I won't, but I understand. I think Marlo's that type of arguer. I think she gets really angry and really mad, and I don't think she realizes how much her rage and anger, you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that Marlo's dangerous. I don't think she's threatening, but I don't think that she realizes how much her emotions show when she gets angry, right? Again, then all of a sudden, Drew comes in with her dramatics. She's trying to get Marlo in the car, and she's like, I'm gonna ride with Kenya. So then Marlo is like, so then Drew's like, I'm gonna ride with that B.I. And she's Fatum. Here's Drew when she says it, and Fatum's right here. And she literally calls her a B with all the bass in her voice. Side note, Drew is so pretty, isn't she? Drew is so pretty. You can say a lot about her. Even when her wig was messed up, Drew was a doll face. Anyway, Drew called her a B with all the bass in her voice, all the bass in her chest. Even I felt it. I was like, ooh, I feel offended. Fatum is about that life. Fatum literally was like, what? What? Have you lost your mind? Fatum is all... Every single time Drew touched Fatum's ready to throw down. Literally, and Sheree's like, okay. Fatum is like, have you lost your mind? Don't you ever. Because at the end of the day, and this is what, again, I wish Bravo would break that fourth wall down. At the end of the day, we know it's being taped. We know the effect of Housewives. We know all this stuff. We know you pay for the trips and like the producers pick who chooses, not you. We know the scenes are mandatory. Can y'all stop acting like we don't know the ins and outs of reality TV? That's why I think all the Bravo franchises are seeing lower. They're still trying to play coy like, it's reality. I mean, we just had the cameras rolling. We know the scenes are heavily produced. We know you edit. Stop playing coy. Just give us the dirt. You can still make a nice amalgamation and take and elevate Housewives into the next phase where the fourth wall is a little bit broken. And like a nice mashup, almost like the way The Office is. The way The Office acknowledges there's cameras, but at the same time, it still seems organic. You guys can do that. I wish somebody with any type of imagination was running Bravo's reality TV. Even the way Bravo looks at Twitter as a cesspool, and it is, but it's one of the biggest things that you have to actually market your shows and get buzz going. The way Bravo doesn't really like messing with YouTube bloggers because they think YouTube bloggers are beneath them. Now, here's the thing, right? I ain't never seen Bravo put anybody on at all, no one. So this isn't even for me. I'm talking about the people that literally make their whole channels reality TV. Why is not Bravo doing more? Even Carlos King was like, yo, I need to reach across the blogosphere because the blogosphere are what makes my shows poppin'. But Bravo's so old-fashioned. Bravo's like, no, because if we like branch out with people that do recaps, it's gonna take you know what I'm saying? It's just given like just old, out of touch, whatever, right? Anyway, old ways of thinking. Anyway, okay. Candy defends Marlo and tries to talk to Kenya. I think Candy probably regrets it because now she sees what Kenya was talking about. Marlo's so hostile, giving off Portia vibes. Then Candy goes and tries to talk to Marlo, and she's like, listen, Marlo, what's the problem? Marlo's like, this, that, and the third. I'm like, Kenya, she smiled at me wrong. Again, it was just so, the funny thing is Kenya was being, she was trying Marlo, but she was doing it so lighthearted and with a smile. It's kind of like Marlo was the one that wouldn't let it go. Marlo, just get in the van because you don't even have a choice. Anyway, then Sanya goes and tries to talk to Kenya. So Kenya makes a good point with Sanya. She was like, why are you sitting here telling me to go kiss Marlo's butt? Because if you had that opinion about Drew and Sheree, why are you on Marlo's side? So then Sanya does this weird thing where she's like, I'm getting a little tired of Kenya. And she gives this weird reason for why, against all odds, she keeps siding with the most horrible person on the show at the moment, which is Marlo. It was really, really weird, right? Marlo wants to go mining. All this stuff happens. Candy comes over to Kenya and she's like, she's with Moneta. And she was like, we're going to go jump on the trampoline. Kenya, do you want to come? So they go and they jump on the trampoline. They're having fun. Then what's her name comes? Fatoon comes. Fatoon's jumping on the trampoline. She's having so much fun. They're laughing. They're joking. They're taking pictures. They're doing whatever, right? Tell me why Dark Cloud, what's her name? Marlo Thompson? Marlo? What is Marlo's last name? Does anybody know? Marlo. We'll just call her Dark Cloud Marlo, right? Hampton. Dark Cloud Hampton. I knew it would come to me. Dark Cloud Hampton comes in and she's like, what you doing? Yo, bumping on trampoline. I get it, Marlo. You're trying to start drama with Kenya. But like Candy said, you're doing it at the expense of everybody else. Have your drama, have your shade. But why are you involving all of us in your conflict? Because this is getting exhausting. Because at the end of the day, Marlo, we don't care. The only person that maybe cares is Sanya. And that's because she thinks this is the quickest way to secure a second season by aligning herself with someone that might be a peach holder. I know, Sanya knows how to go for the gold, but not when it comes to reality TV, baby. You should have talked to the gold athletes, the gold athletes, triathlons, Kenya and Candy, to see how to make it in this reality TV game. Anyway, Marlo comes from it and just ruins everybody's fun. Let me tell y'all something. That is my pet peeve. When I'm laughing, I'm the type of person, I laugh anywhere. That's how my coping mechanism, I laugh through pain. If you see me, and they say that when you laugh, you get endorphins and they and serotonin's released and all this good stuff. It literally is like a natural high. There's so much going on that when you see me laughing, just let me have this because I am taking my natural fix. That is my natural high. I am taking my vitamin sunshine. Leave me alone. So I hate when everybody's laughing and having a good time. Somebody comes and kills the mood because don't you realize we were filling up on our vitamin fun? This is integral to my mental health. Don't take this from me. So when Marlo came with her dark cloud mess, I was like, oh my God, you are exhausting. Like you are literally killing the vibe. And the thing is with Marlo, I don't know if she was doing it on purpose, like trying to be like Queen Bee, or if this is something from her childhood, but she wanted everyone to be like, we hate you, Kenya, and turn their back on Kenya. And everybody's like, Marlo, it's not that serious. Just let her get in the van. And what's more, Marlo, this isn't your trip. This is a Bravo trip. Everybody has to come. Kenya must be there until the producers excuse her. She has to be there. So why are you playing this game? Again, Marlo, these antics might have worked maybe the third season of Real Housewives, but we are all hip to this, what happens on Housewives shows and the fallout. So anyway, would they go, oh, so then Drew pulls out dog treats. Drew is such a liar. She pulls out dog treats and everybody was like, Drew don't even got a dog. You literally drove to the store or had your assistant get props again with these props, and they're not even organic. So you and Ralph just sit there. You and Wreck-It, Peanut Head, the Proud Family, Island of Dr. Strange, Peanut Head, Ralph, just sit there and think of scenes that you can make. And the thing is, fine, have your moment, but you don't even see how the scenes tie into reality, right? So you're throwing dog treats because you had them prepared. And then when the producer's like, do you even own a dog? And Drew, such a liar. I used to own a dog. Drew, you know what? Before I was a dog owner, that excuse might have flown. It might have flown. But the thing is, people that own dogs never say, I used to own a dog, because it's like, yeah, like you refer to, hold on, guys. You refer to the dog by name. Hold on, guys. I have to plug in my charger. Hold on really quick. So you refer to the dog by name. You refer to the dog by everything, right? You refer to the dog by name. You refer with some softness in your heart. And usually if you used to own a dog, the dog either passed away or you had to give it away. And when people own dogs, they give a story like, yeah, I had a dog, but I had to give him away. Or I had a dog and the dog's not here anymore. So you usually do all that stuff. And when Drew was like, I used to have a dog, I was like, Drew, you ain't have no dog. As a dog owner, I'm like, that didn't even ring true. Anyway, right? Listen, Drew, again, calls Fatima BI, whatever. Fatima is about that life. She jumping like whatever. They go to the racist gym mining. They go to a gym mining thing where they're basically sifting through a hand of dirt. Again, I'm not blaming Marlo, because if I had to plan a trip in the mountains, I literally would have typed, what the F does one do in the mountains? Okay, first Google search, ain't nothing but mosquitoes and bugs out there. Second Google search, run from axe murderers. Third, gym mining, fine, put it on the list. What else? I literally would have been like, are there any escape rooms in the mountains? What the hell am I going to do in the mountains? As y'all know, I don't like the woods. There's too many things moving. I don't like when people go to Amazonia rainforest. I mean, they're cool to look at and be on a boat, but after 10 minutes, I'm like, the forest, when I stand still, the forest is moving. Everything in this forest is eating something, and I think I'm next. Give me a good old-fashioned desert where there's like snakes and lizards and scorpions and whatever, because they don't bother you. You walk by and they go back into their thing. Like the desert's like, nice, ain't no mosquitoes around. But anyway, give me something in Utah, right? Nice little nasty like spa with like, anyway. I say all this to say, she picked there's only 3 things to do: make s'mores, go gym mining, and sit around and jump on the trampoline. Side note, this was such a boring cash trip. I would have thought Marlo would have did better, but I guess since the real cash trip was in Jamaica, they had to whatever. Anyway, the racist angry man keeps giving them side eyes, giving them look. It was making me mad. I wish I remember what the name of that mine was so I could put a Yelp review on it. He was giving such off angry. He literally act like rats, vermin came in, just like giving triple KTs, like literally, bye, thank you so much. Literally, he probably wiped everything down. Was like, oh, those darkies touch my mining equipment. Yeah, I didn't think so ever, right? Okay, so anyway, then they go back to the house. Marlo tries to start with Kenya again. Kenya's not having it. And then Marlo does the one thing that's just so stupid. Marlo kicks everybody out the house because nobody will be mean to Kenya. And I said, you know what? There it is. And there's Marlo's favorite fall. Marlo is a ball of self-involvement and narcissism. And that's not fair. I'm not going to say narcissism, but she's a ball of self-involvement. For whatever reason, Marlo was not protected as a child. Marlo did not have a mom. Marlo did not have protectors. So as and her inner child was not nurtured and loved. And as Marlo got older, Marlo right now is stuck in a phase where she is pampering her inner child. and she is spoiling her inner child. And I get it. This is why Marlo comes across, because you are giving your inner child the love that you wish, that's not even wish, that someone should have given you when you were a child. So Marlo is in an evolution, and it made me look at her with kinder eyes. You're in the middle of an evolution, and eventually you'll get to the point where you no longer need to spoil your inner child. Because here's the thing, when you come to development, what is it? There's a child, and children, as they get older, become aware of the outside world. And once they turn into adolescents and young teenagers, you then focus yourself on like interacting with the other world and considering other people. Marlo evolution, not evolution, but psychologically, her psychological evolution has not gotten to that point where she has nourished herself enough that she can actually really care about the outside world. And I think that's where a lot of her anger with Kenya might come from, because Kenya's actually gotten to the point, and maybe Brooklyn's the one that got her to that point, or maybe she was always like that, where now she focuses on something outside of herself, and that feeds her, and that nourishes her, and that gives her self-love too. But anyway, Marlo was like, kicked everybody out. Marlo kicked everybody out because they wouldn't side with her, and they wanted to side. Well, they wouldn't side with her or Kenya. So Marlo kicked everybody out. It was like a mess. Candy was just sitting there mad because, you know, Candy got 11 jobs. Candy's like, I could have been like taking over the world, making a candy coated kettle corn. Like, Candy was sitting there thinking of all the money she was missing by being there. Like, this is some BS. And she kicked everybody out just like she kicked her nephews out. And it was fine. But now I see with Marlo, listen, anybody on reality TV, in my mind, unless you're using it for business purposes, you're a little touched. And here's the thing. I'm not talking about any of the OGs, because Kenya and Candy and all of them, they got on Housewives before reality TV turned into the toxic nature of reality TV. So they're not included in this. But I mean, like, anybody that comes on reality TV in 2022, you know what it is, and it's not for the weak, and it's for the very strong-minded, and it's for the very evolved. You either have to be a narcissist, or you have to be so business-minded that you're not paying attention to the BS. Kenya is business-minded right now. Candy's business-minded right now. Everybody else is tuning in. Well, Sanya is business-minded too. Everybody else is tuning into the BS. So anyway, that is what happened in the show. I'm going to drop the call-in link for y'all to call in if you guys would like. Hold on really quick. Hold on. Let's drop this call-in link. Hold on. Let's see. No, that's not it. Let me invite you guys. Let's see. Okay, there's the call-in link. Let's see. Wanna call in? Here's the link. Hey, B, what's going on, mama? We got B in the house. Woo! The femmes in the front and the dames in the back. Okay, let's see. Okay, where are we at? Okay, where are we at? What is this? Oh, does anybody want to call in? Okay, who says this? Nothing is wrong with being a little touched. Kara said, nothing is wrong with being a little touched on these reality TV shows. It's genius for entertainment purposes. Bonus, most light-skinned Americans that I know are a little touched. Okay, so I will say this. There is nothing wrong with being touched on reality TV. That makes, here's what I'm saying. You have to at least be healed enough that you make it work for you, not against you. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to be at least in control of your emotions enough that producers can't exploit you to a point that you don't want to do. There's a thing, right? Hey, what's up, Betty? We got Betty. What's going on?
Hey, Tisa.
We got Manira and we got Nikki. What's going on, you guys? What is going on, you guys? Okay, so let's get into this. What did you think of this? Betty,
I'll go first, I guess, since I'm on top.
Okay.
First of all, good night to everyone. Good night, chat. Good night, Tisa. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Good night.
Yeah, so
How y'all doing?
What you were just saying, I think you were making a great point. um, about everything you were just saying. Really quick, I just want to touch on Kenya because this episode made me see something. Kenya, all of us kind of understand her to be like the girl that's going to show up and give us a show, right? But the thing is with Kenya, she did give us pieces of her real life. Kenya
Mm,
shared a lot of her trauma with us and a lot of the things that were actually real in her life, the things that she was battling with. So I don't know if that goes over a lot of people's heads, but that's just a reality. In the middle of all that
yeah,
drama, she did give us a piece of her heart and a piece of thing, and those things were used against her, but she was
yeah,
giving that to us. She was vulnerable, and I feel like this episode really made me realize that Kenya is trying to really show us her whole story. I think this whole thing with her noticing that what Marlo is doing is toxic and is like a bit of narcissistic. I think that's real. At first I was kind of thinking she's using it because she can apply it. It can
mm,
apply. But now I'm thinking like, no, I think this is actually very real to her. And a lot of what's happening is traumatic. And maybe she's going through therapy. Maybe she's just really noticing these behaviors and she's noticing how she is always in these kind of dynamics. So she's stepping out of it. And then she's also sharing to us, this is the reason why I'm not going to do this anymore. It's because it's toxic. And I've been doing this my whole life. And I have to, this is me trying to take the reins and trying to not engage in these toxic relationships with people anymore. So just real quick,
yeah.
shout out to Kenya for that. I appreciate her for
Yeah, you
doing
know
that.
what? That's a beautiful point, and I agree with you. And maybe that's why Kenya comes along. So because she does give, and people drag her for it. People have taken the most painful thing in her life and thrown it in her face, right? Like that's why nobody loves you. Now I will say, B, thank you so much. We missed you too. I do want to say that Terry L. Edwards makes a good point and said Kenya gave the theme on the show. She said, "I'm an icon, Marlo. You're an ex-con. B, get out of here." That was a good comeback. Thank you, Carla Williams. Also, Miss Matthews says, when they got kicked out, where did they go? Did the producers pay for an Airbnb? And B Liz actually backs you up, Betty, and says Marlo has limited insight and reasoning. When you think like a juvenile, take a ball and stop the game. That's exactly what happened. Brianna said Sheree's still a failure. How do you plan on having a jogger line and your castmate wants to help? You're not serious. No notepad, focus on mindless gossip. I didn't understand that either. But Betty, I 100% feel where you are coming from. Also, Kaya and Sunkissed Dark Skin, I'll bring you up in a second, but Sunkist, I don't think that you're actually logged in. You're behind stage still. I can't bring you up. Betty, what was your whole thing about that argument in the driveway that went on for on and on and on? Do you think Patty
Girl,
needs to
there
break?
was I didn't see no argument. First of all, the only argument I saw was between Fatoon and Miss Do Too Much. What's her name again? Oh, I don't forgot her name.
Drew.
Drew.
Drew
Drew.
with the dog
Drew.
sash. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only real argument. I didn't see Kenya and Marlo arguing. I saw Marlo was trying to pull a diva. Marlo was trying to put one of those. We not ain't gonna be if I'm not gonna if I'm not going to be the leader, if I'm not going to be the one that says what's going to go, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put this whole thing to a stop. And it didn't work. It's like, girl, you can't do that. You're not the star of the show. You can't do that.
Exactly.
She was trying to make this moment where it's like, you got to pick between Kenya and me. It's like, Marlo, girl, you cannot even do that. And I think that is actually why she unraveled, because she noticed she
Yeah.
kept trying to do it the entire time at the table,
Exactly.
in the restaurant. You were just complaining about Kenya not coming. Kenya comes. Now all of a sudden there's a whole dark cloud around you that Kenya is here, and you see that people are happy that she's here.
Marlo's the dark cloud.
Right. So now you immediately try to bash that whole happiness of Kenya coming on the trip. You were acting like you wanted her there. Now that you see everybody's happy to be here, you immediately go in and try to mess that up. Like, oh, if you want to be here, you got to be in the house too. And it's like, Marlo, I see what that is about now. You just wanted Kenya close enough so you could bother her. And
Yes.
that's what that was about. So now you thought Kenya was going to run away. She didn't run away, but she had her plan. She was going to ignore you. She wasn't going to engage in your BS. And once you see Kenya's plan is going like how she wants it to, you literally have a hissy fit like a child, and making it so that everyone has to choose either between you or Kenya. I don't see that as an argument. I saw that as Marlo acting crazy and trying to make Kenya be wrong for existing. And that is so weird to me. It's very strange.
It
Marlo
was.
girl,
Marva said I would call in, but I haven't seen it yet. Marva, still call in. I want to hear what this Taurus Queen has to say. You can do a psychoanalysis on them. Now, Kara Clark has an interesting thing. She says that Kenya Daly is just jealous that Marlo is getting the main chair at the reunion. Is she? She's not giving their chair to me. Kenya wanted to be the top dog after Cynthia and Portia's departure. P.S. You're still a Kenya fan, but I'm being objective. Okay, but Kara, I honestly don't see Marlo getting. I don't see her getting the first chair. I just don't. I feel like it's going to be Candy and Kenya first chair. I mean, maybe even Sheree. Sheree might be there. But Marlo, even with all this drama, I wouldn't even want Marlo at first chair because it's like, I don't want to know your reasoning for throwing a temper tantrum, kicking everybody out. It was stupid. Let's move on. Like, I don't know. But what do y'all think? We'll do a Betty, then Nikki, then Manera, then Kaya. Let me know. Do y'all see Kenya being the main chair at the reunion?
Of course, it's always about Kenya. She is
Oh,
the
sorry, not
moment.
Kenya. Marlo. Do you see Marlo having the main chair at the reunion?
At this point, I don't think so,
I
but we don't
don't.
know. We're already
I don't
halfway in
think
the
so.
season,
I don't
so
know actually.
I mean, but then again, if the fight with Candy was that deep, but the thing is, Marlo's fights, they come across as so like, you ever like remember when you was in like high school and you'd be like, oh my god, a fight. Well, this is what we was in our high school. You run to see like where the fight started, and then you look and you're like, man, they ain't talking about nothing. And you just like, because you're like, they're not talking about anything. That's the way her arguments are. Like, Marlo, what are you actually mad about? There's no mystery behind it. It's just like you're being stupid. I don't know. Maybe it's just
she's
me.
being silly. She's being a silly person.
Yeah. Nikki, really quick, what was your impressions of the episode? What stuck out to you?
um, Marlo, she was being too petty, acting like it was her trip, being that all those really production, and she letting that head, and she letting Kenya get to her.
I agree. Frank said
And
Marlo has
also,
a
I feel like
hologram. Go on, Nikki. I'm sorry. What's that?
what's her name said in Harlem Nights, Kenya's in charge of the girls.
Kenya is in charge of the girls. Now,
I
Frank.
thought, yeah, that episode.
Yeah, I remember that. I just want to interject. Frank Key says Marlo has a hologram peach right now. She's fighting for her life.
Yeah.
Sorry, that cracked me up. Good one, Frank.
That
Good
was
one.
a read, Frank.
Exactly. That was a good read. A hologram peach fighting for her life. That thing keeps like matrixy, like glitching in her hand. Really quick, Manera, what was your impression of the show? And then we'll go to Kai.
Hey, Tita.
Hey, what's up, Manera?
Hey. I just really quickly just wanted to say that at first I was like, okay, Marlo's gonna, be a good kind of agitator, instigator. But I gotta be honest, even in the chat before I got on now, I'm actually kind of concerned. Like Marlo's kind of mental health right now is a little scary to me, the way she's kind of coming after this Kenya and her nephews and just everybody. Like, I'm really not even trying to be dramatic. Like, I'm concerned. And I think that Kenya was very right to stay in another house, especially with Brooklyn being there. And just like she's expected, she kicked everybody out. Like, she wants to have that Kenya get off my boat energy. She wants that, I'm in charge. You have to do what I say. And I think she really hates that Kenya is just likable. Like, even as the villain, people still like her. And that is very bothersome for Marlo. And I think her typical go-to is to get violent or cuss people out or just do things that are very over the top. And because she can't really play that hand on this show, she doesn't really know how to act. But honestly, she scares me. Like, I really feel like Kenya needs to handle her the way that she's handling her.
You bring up a good point, and I want to put this out to the panel. Do you guys think that Marlo's one of those girls that their whole personality is what they wear, what they have? But when you're actually like, okay,
100%.
Yeah, it's given that. Bernera, you make a good point. It's definitely given that. Also, really quick, before we move on, you guys, there are 623 people in this chat, and there's 200 likes. Can you guys please hit the like button on your way in or out? Thank you very much. I mean, I love you guys, but come on, let's get this going in the algorithm so more people can join the chat and it can move me up. But anyway, just like Housewives, y'all know how this works with the YouTube algorithm. Stop being stingy and give me some love. All right, so Manera, you actually bring up a really good point. Now, to the point of, I don't know if Marlo's scaring me, but I know what you're saying, where it's like, I just expected something more. And maybe because she was always in the scene with someone else, there's a lot of things about her personality that's flying under the radar. Now, it did just occur to me this. Listen to this, Manera. Let me know what you think. And Betty, I want to hear from you, and Kaya and Rachel. I'll bring you on in 1 second. And of course, Nikki. Do you think that Nene sabotaged Marlo and gave her a bunch of advice on how to like keep the girls in charge of the girls and all this stuff, and it's just falling flat? Do you think that's what it is? Because why is Marlo literally trying to come in, to quote Nikki, acting like she's in charge of the girls, where it's like, girl, stop it. I don't know. It's just really odd. I don't know who is giving her this advice or where this game plan came from. Manera, what do you think of that?
No, I agree. I think she's definitely being sideline coach. And at first I was like, is this a producer thing? You know, is this just kind of old tea from Nene of like, I need to get Kenya back? Like, it definitely feels like she's being sideline coach with this, because it's so intense and aggressive, because she really doesn't have a real storyline that would make us kind of stay and, you know, kind of be there for Marlo. Like her clothing line, the rental thing, boo. You know, her nephews, she kicked them out. You know, she doesn't really bring us along on her dating life. You know, there's nothing of real substance, honestly, there that would make us kind of stay engaged. And, you know, with Kenya, she's fun, she's funny, she obviously can read, she's beautiful, she's a mom, you know, like, and it makes me sad, honestly, because I remember when Kenya always used to be like, oh, you know, when they were on better terms. And of course, Nene immediately got upset about that. And she would be, oh, this is my Aquarius sister. And I mean, I got to be honest, my niece is an Aquarius, and they are some of the most loving people that I have met. Like, they are so loving. They're so sweet. And obviously everybody has different personalities, but I saw the kind of sisterhood that Kenya was looking for with Marlo. And even when Marlo kind of fell out with Nene, remember at that little Cynthia Bailey Bowl thing? He was so supportive of her. So I could see some realness there, but you're right. I feel like she kind of has an axe to grind, but it's not even Marlo's axe. Like, you don't even really have an issue with her. Like, you were just upset for no reason.
What makes me think, did Nene know something we don't? Like, I remember Marlo's like, this is my Aquarius. Marlo is very, very good, and maybe it's a survival instinct from childhood, at pretending like she likes somebody when she doesn't. She's almost too good at it. Like, every single time she says she squashed her beef with Kenya, I believe her. And then two episodes later, I'm like, God damn it, Marlo, you got me again. She's just very good at pretending like she likes somebody. Now, somebody says,
Tisa, sorry to cut you off, but let's not forget, this beef started with Kenya because Kenya didn't invite Marlo to her housewarming. Let's just all remember, because Kenya and Marlo don't have a real issue with each other. Kenya came on that season hating. I'm sorry, Marlo came on that season hating Kenya because Kenya didn't invite her to the housewarming. And that's the same season when she said that thing about her mom and all that. Like, so if we want to trace it all the way back to where this problem started, that's where it started from.
You know what? I agree with that. Now, Sandra says, I'm wondering if Kenya is giving Marlo's mom's energy and Marlo feels rejected by Kenya. Another person, Miss Matthews, thank you so much, said, Kenya is an aqua with a Sagittarius moon. Her moon is in equinox with Marlo's moon. Her moon, the moon in your natal chart reps your emotions and your mom whilst carrying you. That's actually an interesting thing, because there's something with Marlo and Kenya. It's just like, I don't even know.
Well, can I get a chance to? No, because I haven't been able to talk yet.
Hey, Kaya.
What's up, Kaya?
Hi. No, because I didn't know if you want to move on to the next question, and I think I was going on a point of, I can't believe anything emotional from Marlo, because she is too self-aware of her issues, and she has the resources, and it seems like she's purposely not doing anything to fix it. The fact that she's saying, like, why would you have your nephews and you've been in foster care and your sister's been in foster care and you've helped like take your sister out, even though somehow, some way she left, and yet you still feel the need to ask them about therapy and not just putting them in therapy. And the way in which she always compliments Kenya, it makes me feel like it comes from a place of these. I think I don't know if it was you before from your last review. It's like they are almost from the same kind of soil, and yet the plants grew to something different. And I feel like in some ways, Marlo maybe, because I don't ever want to put jealousy, but like, there is a resentment. Because even if Kenya's also taken the time to really get herself emotionally together, I feel though Kenya has never been called, like, everyone's always wondering about her money and how Marlo always talks about, oh, you're so articulate and all this kind of stuff, of the way Kenya has been able to put her packaging together. Even if you think Kenya's the villain, her packaging looks really nice and it looks really well put together. And Marlo, there's still something.
So you don't think Marlo?
But there's still something very gritty.
I think she's beautiful. Like Marlo has the outward.
But Marlo doesn't believe that.
Okay.
You can have it all together, but Marlo does not believe that. That's why. Yeah, and that's why when they got into that argument last week, why are you getting into an argument and you feel like Kenya doesn't support you, and yet you're calling her a queen? You're so well spoken, and you're supposed to lead me. She might have been coming from a place of trying to down Kenya, but she was really reading herself of how she felt about herself.
No. Okay, so here's the thing, Kai. You make a lot of good points, but the one thing that I see in Marlo is too good at faking like she doesn't like people. But here's the thing. Marlo, if she was smarter, would be dangerous because she literally tries to be the Pied Piper and tell people what they want to hear.
Yes.
The only thing is, Marlo does not have any discernment. So she sees the surface Kenya. Kenya's very well put together. Kenya's this, Kenya's that. So she's like, oh, I know how I'm going to like get in Kenya's head. I'm going to shamelessly flatter her. No, you're supposed to be a Black queen and you're well-spoken. When you're like, Marlo, if you had any common sense, you would know. You cannot flatter Kenya about that because she doesn't give a damn about that. Kenya actually cares that people see her as a warm, loving person. If you really wanted to get into Kenya's mind, you would be like, you're such a warm, loving person. If you really wanted to manipulate Kenya, that's what Kenya's ego is wrapped around. So Marlo tries to manipulate people through their ego.
Yes.
She can't ever see where someone's ego. I do agree.
But that's a problem.
But I do agree with you because she's giving a window into her soul. Like, okay, Marlo, the way to manipulate you is through your ego.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of like, if she was, if she was smarter, she would talk about what Kenya needs in order for Kenya to fully receive her. But instead, she's not smart enough, and she feels like she speaks on what she feels like is a reflection of her downfalls in Kenya. And also, it's just like, I think maybe Nene put a whisper into her ear, but also maybe just me, because Nene always said that Kenya was good for the show. So regardless, I feel like it might have still been good advice, but there's something still there about Kenya that makes Marlo go too far, because the drama is not fun. For me, it's already dried up. It's like the season is how many episodes in, and it feels like we've come to the finale of like this whole shenanigans. It's too fast, too soon.
Do you think that Marlo, because she was behind the scenes so much with producers, do you think she's doing what the Drew thing's doing? So someone told me a long time ago that a lot of ways that people get by on the Housewives shows are they keep repeating the same things or keep going with the same narratives, because if the producers are on your side, you're basically giving them sound bites. So at the end of the season, they can piece together the narrative they want. Just like with Kenya and Portia. Every scene, Portia would be saying the same mess, whether it made sense or not, whether it was nonsensical. And at the end of the season, they spliced it all together. So it
yes.
I think that Marlo thinks the producers are on her side, but then I was looking like, are the producers trying to?
But they're really not,
because you're getting a bad edit.
So bad. And it's also disgusting how she keeps making herself the victim of saying, I will be the parent to my nephews. And how in the world are we having an episode about you wanting the women to rally around you and to support you and pour into you, and the next day when you're supposed to still be at the trip, it's supposed to be your nephew's birthday, and you're on a trip with all your friends begging them to support into you about making the decision to kick out your nephews for 30 days?
Well, I think it's odd the way they're like trying to show that. Listen, here's the thing. I believe in support in my girlfriends too, even any woman. If I walk in and a woman's crying and I see a man and the man's like, and I'm like, shut up, you did it, asshole. Like, I'm literally always like, where's the man to blame? It wasn't me. Well, it was probably your father, your grandfather. Someone in here had something to do with this. But when it comes to stuff like, no, like you're treating children bad, I'm not going to sit there and rally around you. I will be that person and be like, get out of, like, no, like this woman's crazy. Like, you are mistreating your nephews. The fact that Sanya and all those girls trying to rally, and the fact that Marlo thinks that makes her look stupid thing where you I hope she kicked those boys out for a storyline. It wasn't for real. But the fact that you're literally trying, your storyline is, do you understand what I'm going through? Why some boys whose mom is in jail and they might go into foster care and they're being played out on TV. It's like, Marlo, like Kenya said, sorry, Marlo, I know you're nourishing your inner child, but your childhood's gone. Their childhood is right there. You are literally giving them trauma. I can't support this. Even for Sanya to be like, you don't understand. I was like, Sanya, I'm looking at you side-eye too. Like, I don't know. It's to me, it's like literally finding out someone is beating up their boyfriend or girlfriend and you being like, yeah, but do you know how stressed out they are? And I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm sorry. There's just so listen, really quick, Rachel Real.
Hi.
What do you
Can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me?
Hi,
Lisa. Hi, everyone. Wow, I finally got in.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I was yelling at the TV. Marlo. Sonya was getting on my everlasting freaking nerves. Just the nerve of her. She was acting so green and naive. I'm like, how are you not going to understand that Marlo really has like some mental issues in terms of she's given me narcissistic personality. She's given me victim. You could see that Kenya wasn't even trying to make her mad, and she was just getting so angry because she didn't have the control that she wanted over Kenya, which was just so ignorant and stupid. It's like, how are you? I know in the last episode when you were talking about this woman who you know has gone through a public divorce. This man is trying to get her house, her money, not there for a child, like she's broke down. And every time you can get a free moment, you want to throw a dig and then turn around and say, hey, I really want to be your friend. Like just gaslighting her to the 10th degree. Stop it. I don't understand why Kenya is acting this way. Are you kidding me? And nobody sees this? Y'all don't see the fact that she's gaslighting her?
Rachel, you make a good point. Marlo will call Kenya everything but a child of God, try to fight her, try to pour champagne on her, and the next scene, can someone just tell me how me and Kenya got here?
So Black queens can't get together?
What did I do wrong? I did not wrong.
Kenya. I'm just going to let Kenya be her, the demon. She's a demon. I'm like, are you serious? And y'all are supporting this? She's the demon. And then you're like, and Kenya was like the only one keeping it real because as soon as Marlo was like, I want y'all to leave, Kenya's like, bye. She did her twirl.
Got up.
I'm out of here because I don't want to be here anyway.
Exactly. You know, I do want to say one thing because it's going in the comments. People are saying that Kenya was jealous of Portia. And I want to say, I know Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know Real Housewives of Atlanta tried to go out their way to make people believe that Kenya wasn't that girl. But I find it odd that Kenya is 5'10", beautiful body, beautiful face, long, flowing hair, whether it was hers or not. She is Hawaiian silky, swinging down her back. She is funny. And she has a name. The fact that we can believe that when they were having that debate, that Drew Sidora, because at first I didn't believe it. Of course, she was messing around with LeBron. She used to be that girl. Yeah, but Kenya was that girl for longer. I thought that to me that was the greatest con that the Housewives ever did to make people even believe for 1 second that Kenya was ever not that girl. And that by Portia Williams, and don't get me wrong, this isn't a takeaway from Portia because Portia's beautiful in her own right. I think she's a psychopath, but she's beautiful. She's charming in her own right. But it's like, Portia, you are literally chasing down like club owners.
Right.
In Atlanta streets. It's just like, girl, Kenya been whatever you have.
You got to put some respect on Kenya's name. Exactly. She made the most amazing accomplishment by being, after Vanessa Williams? I don't know who else was next, but Miss USA or Miss America, whichever big one it was, Miss you USA. Cannot take away from her reign from what she did as a Black woman of her skin color.
Black woman, yes.
A dark-skinned Black woman at that.
And can I just say this also?
She represented.
I completely agree with you, but I also have to say this too. If you guys have not seen my video, go watch it. Can y'all stop it? Portia Williams don't even look like Portia Williams.
What? No, it doesn't exactly. Come on, exactly.
Portia went and
all
bought
the
that
pictures like
body so
FaceApp.
she could look like Kenya. That's what happened. She bought that body so she could look like
Exactly.
Kenya. Kenya was
Yes.
always
But
winning.
even
She was
though,
winning from the beginning.
but
Girl,
even
y'all
if
need
she
to
bought,
stop. Y'all need to stop with the.
no,
That's
but
just
listen,
delusional. That's delusional. I'm sorry.
it is. You can buy your body. You could listen. This is a shame-free zone. Buy it, cut it up. This God gave it to you. Do what you want. Remodel it. Throw some D's on that bead. Like do what you want. But my whole point is, it's like there's a whole group of people that don't realize the people that know Photoshop look and you're like, that's FaceApp. That's
Come
this.
on,
That's
exactly.
even the video. You guys realize that there are apps. I wish I remember the name of it, but there's an
Filters,
app.
filters.
No, it's not.
Filter.
No, that's FaceApp. But there's an app that even when you're in live motion, you can put a filter on your face in live video and also your body. You can make your legs longer, you can make your waist smaller, and it's live motion video. Again, the fact that they convinced us that Kenya was jealous of Portia. This is not to downplay Portia, but Kenya don't got nothing to be jealous about. There's nothing Portia
At all.
has that Kenya
Yeah.
has not had, including a toxic relationship. So,
Right.
yeah. Listen, Portia's body is not natural, lovely dime. I see.
At all.
It's wonderful, but no.
No, let me not start, but I see the smart lipo on Portia's body. I see the thing. It's like if you know people that's gotten it done, or you live in areas where everybody has it, you can look and be like, baby, I see it. Even Portia, don't get me wrong. Portia always had a booty, and her weight, when she gains weight, it goes up. But that's what people do for the skinny BBL. You gain 20 or 30 pounds, and then you go to the doctor and they suck it out so that your waist becomes super defined, but you still keep that big booty. And then they took a little bit off your legs and in your stomach, right? And you can see that with Portia, where when you turn to the back, like she has that like noticeable indent in her stomach. That she basically got a skinny BBL, which is cool. But at the end of the day, it's like, girl, stop. You ain't got a lie to kick it. But anyway.
Yeah,
Let's
Portia was always a slim girl with curves. So all those curves are definitely hers. She has a nice shape, but she got plumped up like a chicken, like Marlo said.
Exactly, but that's what they do. You get plumped up and then they suck it all out. But the thing is, with surgery, it's kind of like the Kim Kardashian face. Which also shows age, because I noticed that people like in their early 20s and in their teens, they're into imperfections now. I'm like, no, I want to see it. Like, like Kendrick Lamar, show me something real. Like, show me that cellulite. Show me something real. Seriously. But once you see, that's the thing about plastic surgery, it looks good. But there's only so many which ways you can do it. So once you see somebody with skinny BBL, you look and you're like, that's a skinny BBL, because it all looks the same. Once you see what the thigh is, But with Kenya, I don't even understand why everybody thinks it's a drag to say she has a fake booty. Whether she has a fake booty or not, everybody in that cast, I believe, has a fake booty.
Thank you.
Except Sanya. So what are we talking about? And she might have one next season. You never know. Atlanta is the fake.
I'm done with Sonya. She gets
I think it's because again, it's like it's something that's light or whatever, but I think that's like maybe because I don't really know how it looks. Maybe they've all seen me once or whatever. I think that maybe like the one like physical imperfection that anyone can call out. That's something I can think of, because it's like the face card's not.
She looks like a Marlo to me. So I don't even see the imperfection.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I feel like they tried to take. Yeah, they just be looking for anything to take away from what she is. That's why it's like, oh, your feet are ashy, or your butt is fake. It's like, I'm still beautiful. That's why Kenya always gets them back. Remember she said, I'm perfect. Like, and then Marlo wanted to fight. Right? I she said that. It's like, you're not gonna get me to not be confident in myself. So just stop it, guys. It's not gonna happen. I know who I am.
Critic Chronicles says Kenya's butt looks so unnatural. That's why I think they talk about it. Again, maybe because I see a lot of surgery. I look at Portia's body. I look at a lot of people's body that has surgery, and I'm like, it looks good, but it looks unnatural. Like, I can tell that's not homegrown. I can see the smart liposuction scar. I can see it. Like, to me, I'm like, it's cute.
Yeah. But, and also, she keeps herself in shape too, Kenya.
Right.
Then that's what I want. And I want Sheree's body too, because Sheree had work on her body. She has a natural body too, but every day I pray to my ancestors to get me into the gym, and every day my ancestors just don't. They just they're saving it to break generational curses. They're like, we don't care about you being in the gym. Now, you guys, really quick, and I want to start with Betty, Kai, Manera, Rachel, and then go to Nikki. Who do you think is the bigger surprising flop? Marlo or Sanya? Now, here's the thing. I'll give it to Marlo. You know, like they say, you that chick when you start this conversation, they got us on live, and I'm literally talking about her and dragging her. But to your point, Marlo, I'm talking about you. It's getting tiring, but I'm talking about you. Here's the thing. Drew, whatever. Marlo, because every time she gets my hopes up, she does another dumb trick, and I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have like even said anything nice about you. Marlo, I had high hopes because she seemed so funny and fun loving and just a fashion girl and like just good energy. And when she was a friend, now it's like dark cloud. Sanya, I started off liking her a lot and thought Drew was crazy, but now I'm like, I think Drew might have had a point about Sanya. Like she just keeps disappointing me with this unholy alliance she has with Sheree and Marlo. It's like, what? How did the three newest people literally cling together to what? Unite against the people that are going to be there next season? But what do y'all think about? Tell me who you think the biggest disappointment for this season is and why. We'll start with Betty, then go to Kaya, Manira, Rachel, and then Nikki.
Well, I told you last episode, Tisa, that Sanya is a Jamaican chick and they love drama. They love mess. And I just feel like that's just what Sanya's about. She's just here for the mess and the drama. She knows what it takes to be on this show and she gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in you, Sanya, but I'm not surprised. So, and then with Marlo, she's obviously the biggest disappointment for me because I feel like, damn girl, you had this great opportunity to show us who Marlo is because we have been obsessed with you ever since you come on the show. Most of us have been obsessed with you. We like you and we always wanted more. And now you finally get the opportunity to show us more. And this is what you've given us. It's just so whack, Marlo. And then I don't know if you saw it, Tisa, but she going to the white route. She's going the White Housewives route now. She done told us she got robbed and she's scared to death. And now
I didn't look into that. What happened with that? Do y'all believe she got robbed? Does anybody know the backstory between the
I
robberies?
don't believe it.
I don't know, but it was
weird.
on the news. It was on the news though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. They said that the police staked out around her house for a while, and because they had all of these robberies in that area, and they caught the guys. But they staked out. So apparently she knew, which is why some of the other housewives felt like she put their lives in danger because she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything to them, and she knew about the robberies that
took place. And it was almost
place.
a month ago.
Exactly. And the police staked out around her house just to make sure that.
But wait, how were their lives in danger?
Well, Kenya felt like if you knew that there were robberies and you had word of it, that you were in conjunction with the police to catch these robbers or these gang members, and you never told anyone else. So I don't know how factual that is, or if she had a gag order or something and couldn't say anything, but she knew that there were some robberies. She just didn't know that she was going to be next. And then she told the housewives
a heads up that robberies were going around.
Exactly. For them to look out. Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is giving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to me. This is
I think the cops did tell her not to say anything, but she should have gave them heads up.
And they went into a panic room.
Future's wife,
panic room in her house.
Where are we at? Okay, so Betty. All right, so we got Betty. Kaya, let us know who you think the biggest who's flopping for you and why.
Okay. I'm not gonna do Sanya because I feel like this is her first season. I represent half the Jamaican coalition here. And her show was back when social media was not so intricately tied to reality TV, and it was about her training and her family and not on an ensemble cast. I'm not to say Marlo's my biggest flop because it's so weird that she's acting so new for a group that she's been a part of for 10 years. And I feel like she's like pulling things almost like Drew does, except for there's a little more depth because she's fighting with someone that she does have history with, which is Kenya. And it also disturbs me how much her storyline is not involving herself and her business, and it seems to be involving kids that she's now kicked out. And so I feel like for her, I feel like she should already generally know the game. And yes, there will be some like missteps with like being a full-time peach holder, but these are some large missteps for someone who again has been a part of this group and who has sat on reunion stages as if she was a full-time housewife. I just feel like the mistakes are just not justifiable for her history on the show.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Really quick, you guys, there's 690 people in this chat. Can y'all hit the like button either on your way in, on your way out? Even hit the dislike button. It all helps the algorithm. You know what? I would really appreciate you guys. Now, listen, that's actually a good point, Kaya. Really good point. Manera, what is your take? Who do you think right now is just flopping for you and why?
I really think it's Sheree for me. I had such high hopes. Listen, Sonya, whatever. Nothing for me. But Sheree, I really had high hopes. I mean, when I saw she was going to do the fashion show, I mean, we all know about Lyrone and how that little scammy situation worked out. I was excited to see her daughter, had a podcast and she was on that. But I feel like, unfortunately for me, like Sheree is just consistently missing the mark. Like she stays on the wrong road, on the wrong team. She never follows through with like these great opportunities that she has. Like, it's just, I mean, obviously I watch, your other shows and I'd laugh to myself, but you're absolutely right. Like she could be on Alibaba right now. Like she could have a cute little line up. I could set up. I'm like, Sheree, I do digital marketing. We can set you up a Shopify store and like, I can do it in an hour. Like, it's crazy that she's allowing these opportunities to keep missing her. And now she can scramble and figure out like what she is probably going to have to do to stay on the show. Like she's left and come back and left and come back. Like she's kind of, we were rooting for you. Like we were all rooting for you. You know what I mean? Like, I want her. I really, really did. I want to see her have this like, I mean, I don't know if I want to say happy ending, but like, I mean, like a workout video, a cute little athleisure wear line, and then ride off into the sunset. Like, give me something.
Sheree, you make a good point. To me, everybody's different. To me, Sheree is like that friend that just can't get right, but you want the world for her. And I hope she gets her happy, but it's kind of like, Sheree, I want you to have a happy ending. I want you to have, I mean, she already has that beautiful house. Sheree is actually really good in interior. Her house looks so nice.
I just wish she would tell us how she can afford it. What did you do to get
it? I want Sheree to be a permanent housewife. I want her to win. I want her to have her fashion line. And every single time you lead her to water, you're just like, oh, she ain't drinking again. All right, let's try.
She never gets it. And then the only other thing I wanted to say too was I really would love for you, I mean, to be on Speak On It. I would love for you to be on Speak On It. So that was, but I would love to.
Like, Tisa, who?
We'll be there. We'll support you. But I just want to know, are you going to do something fun? You have to do something fun for the reunion. Like, you got to have a fun little live drag session for the reunion.
I would love to be able to speak on it, but right now I'm not on Candy Burst's radar. She's like,
Let's-
she gonna be talking through her teeth. Jamie, who is this person?
Oh my God.
I will say I can't wait for the Speak On It's for the real. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask y'all really quick, right? Well, hold on. We'll do Rachel, then Nicole, then come back to Betty, Kai, and Manera. Yo, I really like Fatum. I really, really like her. She's a ball of crazy.
She's interesting.
This cast is really like, they got my ADHD all over the place.
Yeah.
First of all, Marlo really shocked me because I really, really was rooting for her. And I had no idea because she's so fashionable. I just knew she was going to have a fly house. And I didn't expect to see that electronic wheelchair rider on her side, on like her man must be there. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but in her house, there's a wheelchair lift on the right side of the stairs where you go up and down. Somebody's handicapped up in that crib. And the fact, if she has all of this money to afford Chanel gloves, Chanel, Gucci, Fendi, like every time you see her, she has all of this, but your house doesn't match all the designers. So to me, it almost seems like your priorities are not intact because you technically, no, I'm Marlo.
Oh, okay,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry. No, Marlo.
Sorry,
Marlo, my bad. Marlo really surprised me because I was looking forward to seeing more of her life, because when Marlo was just a friend and didn't have a peach, everybody wanted to see her house, her lifestyle. How are you getting all of this stuff? Like, make it make sense. If y'all are so successful, inspire, encourage those of us who watch you, because if you're making all this money, how are you getting it? Are you getting it on your back, or are you really earning it? And how are you earning it? You know, when she was renting out all of that stuff, like Rent the Runway or something like that.
Yeah.
Why do you have a lift in your house if you really don't need it? Or is there someone in the house who needs that wheelchair lift? And then putting your nephews out there, I was rooting for her with that, because I thought it was a great thing. She cried with her sister on the phone. She gave him a hug. And then next thing you know, she said she got rid of him. Like, I don't understand. Make that make sense. So she really surprised me, because I just thought her crib was going to look similar, not exactly like Sheree's, but somewhere, if you look at how she dressed and all the designer stuff, it seems like she should be able to afford a better house than what she has. And then Sonya is second, who really surprised me, because I was rooting for her. And it just seems like she complained about Drew, but she's giving me hypocrisy vibes. Like, you a hypocrite. You're running your mouth and you're doing the exact same thing that you said you didn't like the way Drew, how she was carrying things and her character, and wasn't loyal. But you're not either. You just turned your back on Kenya and went to Marlo. So it's like all of them, they're just tripping.
They
Those
are
two.
tripping. You make a good point. Like Marlo, but then again, I guess maybe that's Atlanta culture, where it's more important to show what you have so people give you respect and actually have something. I mean, listen, I respect the fact even Sheree is like, I'm not going to be in the club, but there'll be a club in my house. So, everybody bring thing. Marlo is interesting in that fact of, like you said, that handicap lift. Well, unless the people that owned the townhouse before she did had a handicap lift.
But how do you have a Bentley in front of I don't know what she drives, but I know she had a Bentley, all of these different cars. She could have even had a maid. Why are your nephews? You can still teach them morals and values, but you really have their rooms really look like that, and holes in the wall, ripped up paint, and baseboards messed up. Because I'll be all in their houses.
That she has a Thunder for her lifestyle. Just follow me on this, right? We've all dated people that will get you like a brand new car. Like, it don't matter what the car is. Like, if you was like, what you want? You want the new Escalade? Fine. What you want? You want a Bentley? Fine. But if you go to them and you're like, yo, like, my little nephew needs tutoring money, they'll be like, how much is a tutor? And you're like, oh, it's $275 an hour. And they'll be like, what? $275 for a tutor? Yeah. There are people like they'll fund you, but they'll fund you for things that make you that they want to give you. Like, okay, fine, I'll give you a car. Fine, I'll buy you clothes. I'll buy you jewelry. But if you ask for something you actually need, they don't have money for that. Also, I find it odd too. Somebody was in my comments being like, Tisa, what work done? Damn well nobody's paying for housekeepers to clean up after teenage boys. What world do you live in? I'm like, who do you think housekeepers work for?
What? You can have them clean the house while you're focusing on their education and their mental health.
That makes absolutely
utilize your time wisely. I'm not gonna if I can afford a maid or a housekeeper, I should say, to do the laundry and make sure the clothes are folded. If I know these kids are struggling with mental health because their mom is in jail, there are only so many hours in a day. Let's focus on their mental health. Let's focus on their academics. Maybe get them into some sports. You ain't got time to clean a house. It's still teaching them morals and values if you get them into some extracurricular activities instead of cleaning might not be their thing. And if she's rolling like that with Gucci, Louis, and all of them other high-end fashion, come on, focus on getting them into some extracurricular activities.
Marvin said, when you date old men, how else you going to get them to the bedroom? Marvin was supposed to be dating rich old men. Their private servants better carry them up. But I do want to say this. Like, Marlo is an interesting thing in the fact of, it's also to the point of maybe she's having, because it's that weird thing where she knows too much about what happens behind the scenes, but she's still trying to present, because it does seem like Marlo just keeps digging herself in a hole. And every time she says something, she realizes she messes up, and then she tries to get herself out of it, right? And let's not forget, when it comes to houses, with the Housewives, I always thought that the Housewives got paid more. Candy, of course, you know, she been owned houses, you know, put that in plural. Kenya, as soon as she got on, she got right to building more manor, right? Everybody laughed at her, but she got right in that business. But Portia still never owned a house. And there's no shame in renting. This isn't to shame anybody that rents, but she always rented. And then she went from renting to literally moving in as somebody's glorified roommate. Nene took 10 years to own a house. So maybe some people are just bad with money, or they have just like bad priorities. Like, honestly, and this is not any shade to anyone, but you look at
But Tisa, she could have a little box. Why can't she decorate her house, even if it's just a little townhouse? She doesn't even have it, like, it doesn't match her style. It seems like her house, her decor, I should say.
Yes,
It should match her style. Like, you come in the house with Fendi, Gucci, and Louis, and it looked like you got some, like you haven't even taken any pride in your house. I don't care about whether you own it or not. You can rent it, but is there someone in there who really needs that wheelchair lift? Or did you rent the townhouse like that and never took it off the wall? Or why you got like an old kitchen table and you really can put on Gucci, Louis? Like, you don't even need a lot of money for that. You can go to Bob's Furniture some freaking where and put something.
No, I agree with you.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with you.
You can sell one of your purses.
Of a penthouse.
Come on now, somebody said she could sell one of those purses. Exactly.
That's the same townhouse from season 1. That's the same one with the same furniture and everything.
That is interesting. But
and listen to how she talked about people who don't wear designer. Marlo actually criticized and mocked people who didn't have high-end this and high-end that. Oh, the girls don't want this, when Candy was going to give them some pre-owned things. Okay, she said she didn't want them to have that. But again, how are you teaching your nephews or anyone how to live? Are you being a role model, or are you just worried about what's on your back? The clothes that's on your back, because your living environment doesn't match. It's not an ornament.
No, that is totally true. Like, it is something. It is something. Like, Marlo's interesting. We are talking about her, but we're also talking about this is my one gripe. I know I keep saying one gripe, but I'm on 18 gripes I have with the producers. Why are we not seeing more things about the success? How do we have a whole show about Marlo and Kenya arguing in the driveway, which was funny for the first 30 seconds, and it's like, you guys move on to the next. When they literally casually skipped over Candy giving really good business advice, and Kenya saying she scheduled a car for Sheree. What happened with Paul? Why didn't you show us that? Even if Sheree might have surprised us and been like, yeah, I got that. Or it could have been a mess. But the point is, it's like the girls are giving us things to actually show success.
Yeah.
And just like something outside of fussing. Fussing is not a storyline.
Exactly.
I just don't understand.
That gets exhausting after a while.
To that mess. It's just like with that thing where they spent like how many scenes with Kenya and Marlo arguing again. And Kenya literally had a business meeting about how she couldn't get supply lines in China. And that was interesting to me. Like, can we see something?
Yeah, the producers could have done better with that. They should have kind of like showed more of that conversation with She by Sheree. You know, are you going to do anything? And I'm sure they probably chopped that up a little bit because Kenya offers her advice and they made it look like she really didn't care. And then Candy even offered her advice. And I'm sure the producers left a lot of that conversation out, as they usually do. But you're right. They showed more toxic stuff than,
but it was done toxic stuff. It was just like, are you serious? Like,
yeah.
And here's the thing. You make a good point. Maybe they splice it up that call Sheree took was actually the person that Kenya hooked her up with. Maybe Sheree actually was interested. Maybe Sheree is trying to find a way. She just needs someone to hold her hand. But why aren't we seeing more of that journey? Because I get the fashion show in the moments, but I would like to see Sheree actually build that fashion show up. I want to see the work. I want to see Candy's work. I want to see Kenya's work. But it seems like the Housewives, they're like, oh, Black woman show. They just want to see them argue, fuss, and twerk. Make sure you put in 3 minutes of twerking. So I don't know. It's like
I'm really hoping I really think that Sheree might pull this off, and her fashion is going to end up, because everybody talked about her house for the longest and how long it took her to build that house. So I'm really, really hoping maybe they've just cut it out, but that she got a plan in place and she's going to blow it out the water with She by Sheree, that her line will look like the success of her house.
I
That
agree.
goes
No,
to right.
Veronica said that's what I want to see too. Business, marriage, children, trip shopping. That beef is ridiculous because these ladies have more to offer.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. All of them have more to offer. And listen, low key, all of them are all interesting and all of them are all funny, just in different ways. It's like even Sanya. When I saw Sanya when she first came on, I'm like, oh, you have a funny dynamic with your family. Oh, ha ha ha. Even though I did hear you guys, I agree with you. Kenya is going to eat Sanya up on that reunion stage. Just
Yes, she is.
Like some
eat her
potato
up.
chips. Shia don't even know what's coming at her. She don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't like the
exactly.
fact that she just keeps switching up. I don't like that. Like, who do you like and who do you not like? Same way with Marlo.
Flip
Who do you
flopper.
like and who don't you like?
Listen, this is what I
she's
think
chosen a
about.
side, but she hasn't flipped on Marlo, has she?
No, she hasn't, but this is what I think of Sanya. I agree with you, Betty, because I keep forgetting. Sonya likes to be in the mess. Sonya don't care. Sonya's going wherever she needs to go. The only thing with the glitch in her plan is, Sonya, this needs to be situational. I know that you think your way to get more camera time is to tag on Marlo and do this and do that, but we are talking about her kicking her 2 young sons out. Like,
Right.
listen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like it has to make sense, Sonya. Remember,
yeah.
you just gave us a whole speech about how you the kind of friend you gonna call people out when they acting wrong, and
Right.
you sitting there
But,
listening to
but you're
Marlo.
not calling Marlo out, though.
Right. You just
Right.
watch Marlo acting a fool, and you don't got nothing to say.
Yeah, it's
So
like
she
Sonya, I
should
get
love
it.
Drew.
Yeah,
If
I
that's
get
the case, she should love Drew. But
As,
that's what
as
put me off with
Candy,
her.
as Candy would say, Sanya's full of.
Yeah, I will agree with you, Marva. I do like the listen. We say, and I just want everybody to say this. I say all this to say I'm actually really enjoying the season. I'm back
Oh,
to
I
us
am.
fighting about
Definitely.
things.
Me too.
No one's getting violent. Nobody's
Yeah.
doing this. Nobody's doing that. There are boundaries. Even
Mhm.
Marlo will say stuff, but she'll walk
Mhm.
away. So
Mhm.
and again, as somebody that when I get heated, my anger radiates off of me. It's like when I'm dramatic. When I'm really happy, I'm happy. When I'm sad, I'm the most sad. When I'm angry, I'm so angry. Sometimes I'll be arguing with someone and I don't realize that I'm coming across like I'm about to like end them completely and delete this from this earth, when literally I just think I'm having an arguing conversation. So I do think that maybe Marlo just doesn't realize how intense she comes across when she's mad or angry or upset at someone. You know? That's all.
Yeah.
But she's
She
probably
just seems to
realizing
come
now,
stronger when she seems to be a little harder though when she goes for Kenya. It just doesn't seem like it's balanced out when she's going at it with somebody else. It just seems like just out of the blue, she'll just go after Kenya.
I do think that Kenya, in her mind, because don't forget, last time Marlo was on Housewives, a big shift happened. And I don't think she's caught up. Kenya used to be that girl that if you put a bullseye on her, you became the fan favorite. That's over. Like, portions of the show, the toxicity is over. Now we're like, oh, we love giggly Kenya. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and Marlo obviously was evolving. I think when you get older and you do have that type of, when your emotions radiate off of you, because I do the same thing. When I say this, a lot of people that are like me, you start to realize with maturity, it's best just to smile and say nothing, like do not go even down that road.
Don't feed into it.
So let me just sit there and be like, okay, sure,
Yep.
no problem. Marlo doesn't realize that yet. She's still growing. She got a lot of growing to do, you know?
I mean, she should have realized that when she had to literally run Kenya. Like, she was running after the girl in the house. And I'm just like,
Right.
when are you going to realize that you're doing too much, Marlo? At what point is it going to click?
Yeah.
You're chasing this girl around the house because why? Because she came to the house after you gave her the ultimatum. She did what you wanted. She arrived, but you're still not satisfied. No, girl, like I need to confront you right now. We need to fight right now.
Her delivery was just off. Too dark. It was just too much. So you're acting like her mom.
Yeah, it was just way too dark. Curiel said, I agree, Tisa. I'm guilty of not realizing how aggressive I am with just going toe to toe with words. Exactly. But Marlo's going to watch that playback and next season be like, okay, agree to disagree. She's going to get it right. Like, agree to disagree. All right, girls. Okay. You got
I
one more
just want
time.
her house to match her clothes.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Kira said, well, I can't say Floridians. I actually know Floridians. Floridians are fake and have a hot temper and mouth. I know Floridian. She is a hot temper, but she's not fake. I like her. I love her, actually. But yeah. All right, so you guys, really quick, let's go through this. Why don't y'all rank this episode and rank how the season's going? We'll start with Betty, Kaya, Manera, Rachel, and then go to Nikki.
I'm gonna rate this episode a 6.5 because it was more annoying than it was entertaining. You guys spent entirely too much time focusing on Marlo and her shenanigans. This episode was almost a dud, honestly, for me, just because of all that time you guys spent on Marlo searching for this moment with Kenya that never happened. Producers, stop it. The season so far, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it looks like there's gonna be a lot of stuff already happened and it just looks like there's going to be so much more. So this is a really good season. So thumbs up for that. But Marlo girl, please relax. Every episode we just going to have to remind you that you need to relax.
Exactly. Like we like the drama, but at least Marlo just lay and wait for Kenya to start messing with you at least one time.
Yeah.
At least one time. Kaya, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna still study. I'm gonna say 6.5. I will say because we were able to have good conversations. I think in episodes you're always able to give points. If it's not completely boring, you're able to have an intellectual conversation that reality TV. I will say though that something about Marlo slightly disturbs me in the way in which she wields emotions to be manipulative. Of you want Kenya to stay, and if she comes and stays, and now because she's still not showing up the way you want her to, we're sitting in the driveway for almost 2 hours. And I think it's like she doesn't even realize that she ruined her own moment of her first girls trip. And so for me, I'm like, you kind of deaded this episode for almost half of it for absolutely no reason.
I feel you on that one. You guys, there's 699 people on this chat. Please hit the like button and support. I would appreciate it. Trying to get some special guests on this show, not Housewives, but other special guests that you might like. Also, Manera. And then we have Welcome Prosperity. Thick girl.
Hey,
What's up, girl?
everybody.
Hey. Really quick.
Hi.
So we're gonna do Manera, Rachel, Nikki, then go to Prosperity because girl, I know you got something to say. And always love it, right? She gives the best recaps of love and marriage. Huntsville, make sure you guys check out Prosperity. Manera, really quick, what is your how do you rank this episode?
This episode was probably like a 7 for me as well. I just think overall, I just want to see a little bit more and less of this negative energy. You know, like I'm telling you, fun drunk Kenya. That episode was amazing to me. Like I want to see more of those types of episodes. Like I don't mind, them kind of getting into it sometimes, but I think overall the lightness and the freeness of that and fun of that, like I want to see them having fun again. Like I love when they are interacting great and having fun. They can have their little tips off to the side. Honestly, I'm surprised too with Drew Sidora. Like Drew,
It's a little
like at
feedback,
first
somebody.
Yeah, whose feedback is that?
I don't
I
know.
hear feedback. But anyway, everybody mute their mic if you're not talking. So go on, Manera. What were you saying?
Yeah, Drew, I was so sick of her these first couple of episodes, but now I'm like, she actually was kind of right about Sanya. Sanya's a little off her rocker and on the wrong road. But I was actually, I'm really surprised at this. I would love to see a little bit more, but I would give it a 6.5, a 7. I'm ready to see. I think I'm just really ready to see this fashion show because I cannot wait for your live after that.
I can't wait for the live either because I feel like I will say one thing. I do think there's some type of surprise there because the producers kept such a tight hold on everything. I feel like there's some surprise at the fashion show or some drama. I want to see what happens with her and Tyrone, actually.
I know. You're right. I've only seen like very few clips, and they're the same clips of the fashion show, but I see obviously Tyrone walking in at the end with his little pimp daddy walk and those little glasses. He came in there, he slayed through looking like an 80s drug dealer from DC. And trust me, I know them well. Okay?
I do too, sis.
Just that's a side note.
An 80s drug dealer from DC. To me, if I was Sheree and he walked in like that, it's like when he walked in, I was like, Tyrone wasn't hiding no money. But that's another thing. Tyrone looked broke when he walked in. I get it because people are like, oh, if he's hiding money, he can't show. But I was like, what? Why did Sheree give him the outfit to wear? Because that would have been such good promotion for She by Sheree. But whatever, we all know why because
It's
they know
all in
She
the
by Sheree
chateau.
line.
It's
Yeah,
all in the chateau.
yeah, definitely. So listen, Rachel Real, what did you think?
The producer people, y'all gotta get it right, Bravo, because I think y'all chopped it up because you hear these people on their different YouTube lives and they talk a different game, like Candy and Kenya, from what we're actually seeing. So I'm gonna say a 5.5, but I have really, really been enjoying the season.
Yeah,
It's just that this particular one, Marlo chasing Kenya around the house and staying in the driveway and then going to a racist rock place and them jumping on a trampoline. Are y'all and then sitting in the truck for who's going to sit in what truck? Are y'all like all of this happened in this one setting that you couldn't show more? That was just dumb to me. Like driveway, backyard, and a rock place and back to the house. And I feel that they definitely, if y'all have been taping, y'all have more footage to show and to take our women like that. They need to do better because when you look at the other housewives where it's the non-melanated women, you see much, much more on Beverly Hills and stuff like that. So I just feel like no fault to the girls, but I feel like the producers, they did wrong with this particular episode. So I'm gonna say a 5.5.
When she was doing her bridal fashion show, and this was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
They still showed her the business moves, PK, naming the dresses.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
They tried to make it look like the only thing
And
these
that
girls
one was
were
a
doing
scam too.
They act like the only thing these ladies were doing was fussing. And I know that's not the case because it didn't even make sense. I know that there was more content that they could have showed, more footage that they could have showed when you're taping all day long and you're following them. And the only thing you can do is show Kenya and Marlo having a fit because Kenya won't listen to her and who's going to get in what truck and then let them jump on a trampoline. But everything has to be toxic. Oh, show Drew throwing a bone with the other girl. Like just to chop it up like that, to me, they could have done better with 40 minutes or whatever if you include commercials of footage. So that's to the producers, not the ladies, because the ladies did good. They look beautiful and stuff like that. Sure, they got some growth to do, but I'm sure they gave more than what we saw, and the producers just chopped it up. They really need to do better with our Housewives of Atlanta.
And they do. When you see Beverly Hills and I know that whole thing with Erica Jane and stuff, but when you see Beverly Hills, it's like why even just still the camera quality when you guys get some good, you guys calibrate it, you make it look bright and open and alive. But that said, that goes to show with Real Housewives of Atlanta just how amazing that cast is. That through all those things, we're still I'm still entertained, but still
I was entertained for sure.
YouTube videos, what is this? On their iPhone. Really quick.
I think. Sorry.
No, sorry, guys. Let's go to Nikki and then Prosperity. Nikki.
Hi, yes. I give the episode a 7.5. But the season is, I would say, a 9.5 so far. The episode, they wasted hours being in the driveway for no reason because of Marlo. That was annoying. Hello?
No, I definitely feel you on that one.
And Sanya, she's being very hypocritical.
I definitely agree that she's being hypocritical. Who's your favorite right now, Nikki?
Definitely Candy and Kenya.
Definitely. I mean, they're the OGs. They are holding it down. But you know what? like you guys all pointed out, maybe the fact that we're talking about them, the producers are like, hey, mission accomplished, you know?
And I'm starting to like Drew's growing on me. Although she can get on my nerves.
That's interesting.
Me too.
And
Never heard
I
nobody say
thought,
that
no,
before.
because when Drew was doing her interviews talking about Sanya, I was like, oh, Drew, you. I thought at first I was like, I don't know if I believe you. But now I'm seeing Sanya on the show. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe she's right.
Yeah, listen, I agree. Drew seems to be more right than wrong about Sanya, but like, just because Sanya's wrong doesn't make Drew right. That's all I
No,
know.
that's true.
Prosperity. Oh, go on, Nikki. I'm
And that
sorry.
was thirsty of Drew to throw that bone.
That was just so weird. Like, Drew, we're not even in a house. That means you had a Ziploc bag. That means you had to sit there waiting like you're a granny with like little snacks. Like, just like, oh, I can't. Like, Drew, she was waiting. She was like, and scene.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let this be like, and then the whole like Earth calling people bees. It's like, Drew, same thing with what's her name? Marlo. Like, it's too much. Like, just dial it back. It's too much. That said, prosperity. And that's the thing. At least Marlo, her antics makes her be like, Marlo, stop it. With Drew, you're literally just like, oh.
Yeah. And I was here for Manyada too to this episode.
Yeah, Monyetta was a nice addition. Prosperity, really quick. Well, not even really quick, Mama. Welcome. Congratulations on your love and marriage expose. So what's going on? What's your take on all this?
Drew is on my last nerve. I cannot with her. Where do you get a bone from? Like you said, you don't even have a dog. You don't have a dog. So you mean to tell me you're carrying around bones looking for a moment? She practiced that. She was in the mirror. She did all of that. That bitch gonna say something to me and I got her. Oh, you think this gonna be cute, Wreck-It Ralph? You think they're like this? No. I told y'all that boy is not her assistant. He's her read writer, and he can't even do that right.
Exactly.
Sanya,
Not
you
a
have
read
watched
writer.
That's what she got him for, because she can't read to save her. Her or Marlo can read to save their life.
Exactly.
Sanya, you have watched enough seasons. I'm pretty sure you went back and binge watched from season 1 until this season. You know the history between Marlo and Sherette. I mean, and Marlo, LOW, not LO, because she's always going low. So why would you sit here and try to act like Kenya is so dead wrong? Marlo is going through a whole lot. She put kids out. She going through that because she want to go through it. All she got to do is go pick them up. How hard is that? She hadn't been robbed yet, so it ain't like, what is she dealing with? Lay archive. What, you can't spell? Is that what you're dealing with? Because I'm trying to understand, how is she always a victim? She's going to find a way to be the victim if no one else does. Like, who's sitting in a damn parking lot for an hour and a half waiting because you want to build up some drama? Girl, you could have let Kenya ride in that car from the beginning. Went through the trip, had a good time, came back home, let Kenya stay for however long she wanted to. Maybe if you'd have got her drunk enough, she would have stayed the night.
True.
But being that you gotta have a moment with her, and then you keep telling she jealous. What is she jealous of? Like she said, she's an icon and you're an ex-con. Girl, there's no comparison.
That's true.
Get over it. You want to be her. You don't. Last show she said she admires that lady. No, there's a difference between admiring and envying. She envies Kenya. She wants to be who Kenya is. She want to know, how did Kenya come from where they both came from, but that she's able to be the person that she is today. That's what it's all about. We both had the same beginnings. So how are you flourishing and I'm stuck? Because you want to be stuck. This is what you do.
You think so?
You gotta want to be stuck if you ain't doing nothing to change it. What does she do?
I mean, I agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Marlo is like, I don't really think that Marlo has anything to be jealous of Kenya over. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
it's like, no, but what I'm saying is just like, don't get me wrong, Kenya's done amazing things, but it's like, Marlo, you're able-bodied, you're beautiful, you're still young. Like, and even if you weren't young, even if you were in your 80s, so what? You're still able-bodied, you're still beautiful. Like, you can literally do anything you want to do. So
She'll
why
like her
would
house,
you jealous of
Tisa.
another woman?
And
She'll
you
like
got
her
all
house.
these connections in the industry. You got all these white men paying your bills and putting you up on game. Like they was in that damn at the driveway. Like you know how when you used to go on a trip and there was always a kid that didn't have a lunch, so the teachers had to go scramble to make sure they had enough something
Yeah.
to eat. That's what it reminds you of. Like when is this field trip going to start? Then y'all go there and come right back to the same bull. Girl, you could have
I mean,
let
let's
them
be
women
fair.
stay.
Let's be fair. What else is there to do in the damn mountains? I would have been like, I'm passing. I don't want to be on a cabin trip. It doesn't sound fun to me. Like, no, there's
And that's
nothing to
why
do.
Kenya said, "Oh, a road trip in the mountains, yay!" Like, girl, you sat here and did all of this, like, and let's hold on everything. Why is she pretending like we haven't watched this since season 1 and we know every reality show pays for these trips? Girl, stop talking about this is your trip. You paid for this. You
Exactly.
you
Production
didn't do
paid for it.
anything. Bravo gave you a goddamn budget. And you just went and found where you wanted y'all to stay and found some activities that y'all want y'all to do. Girl, all you bought was lemon pepper wings. That's all you probably paid for with those damn wings. But you keep trying to act like this is your trip. My trip, my trip, my trip. Girl, no, this is Bravo's trip, and everybody's going to come and get their check. You act like this is still not a job at the end of the day. This is a job, and if she don't come on this trip and if she don't go on this participate, she can't get her check. And you really think she about to let you stop her bag? You of all people. So you can chase me around this house. You can call me a bee. You can do all these things you're doing, but I'm still here and I'm still gonna get my check. That's why when you got off that trampoline, you was like, she can come because you knew she wasn't going nowhere. Girl, this is her
That's
show,
why you
not yours.
good one. That is why she went back there to even get on the trampoline. So she could have excuse to be like, okay, when like you said at the end of the day, she wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Yeah, remember?
And I love a
had
good trampoline. I love a good trampoline, but I'm not that ain't trampoline ain't gonna make me see heaven and all of a sudden now my attitude done changed. Girl, no producer told you, look, we need to get on the road. And that's what happened.
Yup, that's exactly what I was about to say. Because remember, she was trying to take Sheree and the other one with her. Like we gonna go Gemini. I'm gonna leave these girls. And you could tell producers was like, no, girl.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Marlo is on my last nerve, on my total last nerve. And did you drop some money off to your sister yet? Got them damn kids over there giving kids the melatonin and all that because you need a break. Ain't no break in parenting. When you sign on for the position, this is your position. You do not get to simply turn to send the children and mess up their psyche even further than their mama already did. Don't take the job if you can't fulfill it. Miss Rich Lady.
Don't take it if you can't fulfill it. So listen, you guys, I want to thank y'all all for coming to this. Really quick, does anybody in the chat, Prosperity, or anybody else in the chat, do you guys have any lives or anything coming up you want to tell everybody about? Hey, what's up,
did my
girl?
first live. I did my first actual live today with me, So Deb, and Nola Reese and Candy Shop.
Oh,
so y'all can go check that out.
No, when do you do your lives? You did it on for Real Housewives of Atlanta?
No, today was just shooting the breeze because I'm just trying to get my watch hours up and my subscribers up.
You guys,
but we
really quick,
I told you, Prosperity Thick Girl 40.
Okay, so she's gonna drop a link to her channel in the chat, Prosperity Thick Girl 40. Why don't we all shoot over, hit a like, and just subscribe? Let's get this girl to 1,000 so she can get monetized.
And my shop and my IG shop is open with cups by Thick Girl. Y'all know my wine glasses. Everybody they love them. They're great. So go get you one of those as well. And I do Crocs. I bling the Crocs.
And you do Crocs. Okay. All right. We got something going on here. All right.
Thank
so everybody
check me out. I'm Rachel Rill. I have 2 shows. I'm on a show with 2 other panelists called Candid Conversations. We usually go live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. And that's Candid, CANDID Conversations, Candid Conversations.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Tisa, when I do my deep dive on Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'm gonna call you, girl. I'm gonna DM you because I want to do a deep dive from season 1 until season 4 because a lot of things didn't age well on that show.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So really quick, Betty, Kaya, Rachel, thank you so much for sharing that. Nikki, anything else you guys want to share before we head out?
I just want to say,
check out my podcast.
What's your podcast?
It's called You Ain't Crazy. It's on Spotify. You Ain't Crazy. A Narcissist Has Two Faces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds super interesting. Betty, Kaya, Nikki, you guys want to shout anything out?
I just want to say, you guys can catch me right here on Tisa's channel. This is the only place you ever hear my commentary on anything. So come over here for Love and Hip Hop. Anything that Tisa's doing, I'm watching it. And if there's a call link, I'll call in. So if y'all
good commentary. Don't forget your good commentary.
Definitely.
You are a comedian.
I have to address this. Yin and Yang says that's why a lot of Black mothers fail at parenting Black boys, because the white mothers take a break. Y'all sound like idiots. What?
That's why Black mothers fall.
I don't have children.
That's why a lot of Black mothers fail.
I raised 4 boys.
Go to another channel.
Yeah, because I didn't fail. And I raised 4 boys.
And anyway, ain't all
that person been saying a lot of dumb stuff. Don't
let me not even say anything. It's just like a lot of white mothers take breaks. Where? What are you talking about? Do you even know any white mothers? You just seeing what you saw on like Thursday Night Live. Like, what are you? Y'all,
exactly. Because mothers don't get time off or paid leave.
How are you coming into a Black woman's channel talking about that's why a lot of Black mothers fail?
Exactly.
Hold on.
Which is
I got college graduates under my belt, sweetie.
And what Black mothers fail at parenting? You got the wrong channel. You got the wrong people.
Yeah, she's just lost.
She's projecting.
Exactly, projecting is you're absolutely right.
I don't even know what that was. It's just like, how you come on?
He was failed as a child.
Black women's panelists talking about that's why Black women fail.
Anyway, they think your exotic look takes away from your Blackness, I guess, because they need to know you're a sister.
But here,
Curly hair and all.
I help her out. I'm gonna help her out, y'all. Yin and Yang. When you're a mother, there's no set hours. You don't clock in and you don't clock out. Therefore, there is no
there
break.
you go.
Okay.
And you don't get paid leave.
Listen,
yeah, and you don't get paid. It's not that kind of job, sis.
No, don't explain yourself. Don't explain.
No
I don't explain something. Be like,
you don't get none of that.
Block. You put literally I put a 30-inch straight weave on for 1 month, and people just forget I'm Black. I come into a Black person's channel talking about that's why y'all. Don't even
Black women don't fail at nothing unless we want to. If we don't want to fail, we won't. We fail because we want to, and we say like you.
Listen, I'm telling you, when it comes to those racist trolls, don't even explain. Just be like, and that's what they want. They want you to be like, oh, y'all this and y'all that. And you blocked. So what's up? Anyway,
I hope the comment was worth it.
Listen, I hope the comment, and that's the thing, yin and yang, because I know you probably on your burner account watching for the thing. If you were smart, you would have hit us with a very deep insult, not just some generic shit. It's just like there's lots of insults you can say. That was just so. Anyway, and now you blocked. You wasted your chance. You had one chance to disrupt the nation, and look what you did.
Exactly, because people don't even block people like that. Like you got her to do something she doesn't even do in the normal.
Listen, I don't even understand. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for joining, and I will talk to you guys later. Betty, Kaya, Rachel, Nikki, Mel, what's up? OG in the house. Mel Prosperity, Thick Girls, what is up? And also ACE. What's up, ACE? Once again, your Abby is giving everything. Thank you. Yeah, ACE, I do have liner on. This ColourPop liner, and then this pink lip oil. Trying to make
you need to get you a lip line, Tisha, because your lip. We always asking you what you got on your lips. You need to get you a lip.
I know,
line.
right? Half the time I'd be like 99-cent Wet and Wild.
Wet and Wild.
Love your Wet and Wild.
Exactly. Nothing wrong.
They need to give you a sponsorship.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. B, thank you so much for being the best moderator. Everybody give thanks to B. Yes, and I will see you guys next week for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I actually can't wait for the reunion because Kenya is going to eat Sanya up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kenya and Candy.
Candy's
She
done
got
playing Mrs. Nice Girl. She is literally like, okay, so it's war. I just want to see.
Sonya better pull that bronze out because she's not gonna be fast enough to get away from Kenya at that
Sheree better get her comebacks together, and not play with her weave or say, "Oh, I don't remember."
Exactly, but I'm looking forward to Sheree. I want to see
gotta
when,
leave
like,
my
Sheree. No, I want to see Sheree start to mumble when Andy says, "So where did you get the money for your house?" You know, how Sheree.
Yeah.
All right.
When is she got Sheree dropping? You made us do this
She
whole
got
big
it.
old thing about the damn fashion show, and we still ain't got no damn fashion.
Exactly. And also Kenny, what's up, Kenny? We got OGs in the house tonight. Woo! So many people. Who else did I see? Cashapp, what's up?
You know
All
we
right,
love
y'all.
you.
Let me get out of here because we're gonna be on here for another hour. Thank you, everybody. I
Thank
love
you.
No problem. Talk to you guys
Say,
later.
Bye,
have a good week.
Night.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Let's see. How do I? Oh, there we go.
I'm